Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. I'm thrilled that you are listening. I am Brittany Ford, your host and podcast interviewer, content creator, nutritionist, all of the things. I was really intrigued doing this episode. It is all about creating drinks that don't have any alcohol in them, going spirit free, the sober curious movement, and really embracing that. But it's a little beyond that because we talk about these different drinks that this company makes called Rasāsvāda and all of the botanicals that are in these drinks and how they kind of help with different times during the day. So you can take like one is for the morning, one is for afternoon, one's for night type of idea, or, whenever it suits you. But it was really fascinating having this conversation with Connor because their whole thing and ethos is that they want to really support you through herbs and being able to make these like really strong, potent, healthy drinks for you. Not necessarily like a gin alternative or vodka alternative. It's not about, this tastes like vodka, it just doesn't have any alcohol in it. It's like completely not about that. It's like, this is something that is an elixir filled with potent herbs that can really support you, that then you can make into a mocktail and have by yourself or in social events. And I just love that. So this episode is actually up on YouTube. I mean, all my episodes are on YouTube, but this one I filmed the video with as well. And I did a live tasting of the 3 different drinks that we tried. So if you want to go watch that, definitely do that. It's Biohacking Brittany on YouTube and you can check that out. It was really yummy and interesting to taste these and like have a reaction right away. And I recommend them to anybody. I absolutely love their branding. They are based out of New York City. It's very modern, but it's like rooted in like ancient medicine. So it's really, really cool. I have all 3 of their bottles still in my fridge and I will definitely be pulling on them as I feel necessary. So if you're somebody like myself who's currently sober and you want to try something different and you want to try something that you can have socially or by yourself or at the end of the day or anything like that, this is definitely the products that I would recommend to you. I don't really drink there's like non-alcoholic mocktails that you can get. And I've had those that like come in a can. Those are great for like on the go or if you're going somewhere, but making something like this at home with like fresh ingredients, like fresh fruit is really, really nice. Really nice. So I think you will get a lot out of this episode. I'm currently pregnant, so I am not drinking alcohol and I won't be for probably quite a while I'm breastfeeding. And then after that, I will see how I want to move forward. This is something I've been thinking a lot about lately. And I was just posting about this recently on Threads. And I was talking about, do I even want to go back to alcohol? I've had quite a few episodes lately about being sober, and I'm not sure it's something that I want to integrate back into my life. I'm like on the fence about it right now. I mean, I don't have to decide right now, but the more, I guess my thing is like the more research I do, the more I understand alcohol's impact on our health, the more I don't want to do it and partake. But it's really hard because it's all around me and it's, my friends, my family, my husband drinks. So it's one of those things that I'm exposed to a lot. And not that I party or those people party, but it's more of like wine at dinner or having a barbecue and people bring drinks at the fire pit or like going boating with drinks and like, these like social things that we do that alcohol is kind of present for. So it makes it tough to stick to that. So I'm going to assess how I'm feeling by the end of this year and kind of go from there. I don't know if it aligns with my values. I just don't know if the benefits are really there anymore as they once were. I don't know. I'm on the fence. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to like think more about it. And, there's like, people could say like meet in the middle, like drink on occasion. I don't know. I mean, what's an occasion, right? Like you'd have to very clearly define that. And for me, I'd have to very clearly define that. Like, is it, weddings and holidays? Or is it, there's like a family reunion and that's an occasion? Like what, like where do you draw the line? And then is it worth it? And so right now during pregnancy, like I don't miss alcohol at all. So I've had a couple of people ask me that and it's like, no, I don't miss it at all. I don't miss waking up feeling sick and miss like being hungover. To be honest, I miss like microdosing mushrooms the most out of everything. And that will 100% be something that I bring back. And I will probably also bring back like gummies, like cannabis. And when I do gummies, it's like very small amount, like 2.5 milligrams. And that's it. Like I don't smoke. I don't do anything like that. So it's like California sober is kind of what they call it. That would probably be my vibe. And yeah, but I don't miss like drinking alcohol whatsoever. So this was a really interesting conversation. We kind of dive into that and my experience with that. But before we get into it, I'm going to read out the DM of the day. You can send me a DM on Instagram at biohackingbrittany and I will read them. I respond to everybody. And so if I read yours on the show, it is, anonymous. So you don't have to worry about your laundry being aired or anything like that. A lot of them are health questions. And then I answer the health questions. It's just like a fun feature that I am doing. Okay. So this woman wrote, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Hi, Brittany. I've been following your journey for a while and I'm so inspired by your dedication to non-toxic living. I recently became a mom and I'm looking for safe and natural products for my baby. I saw you've had some episodes and content on this. Could you tell me more about what products you recommend for new moms? Thanks a ton. Okay, so this is like such a big question, and I'm not going to go into everything fully. What I would do for you is, and this is my number one suggestion basically to everybody, is there's an account on Instagram called Raising Well Kids. This has been my guide, one of my guides to the decisions that I have made. So this account is massive, massive, massive account. And basically what they do is they will compare all of the different brands for a specific product. So say they look at like baby wipes. They will take the top ones on the market. They'll take the top green ones, clean ones, whatever. They will assess the ingredients in them and the price point and tell you, okay, this is the best out of them. And they rank them like A, B, C, D, A+, whatever. And that has been my personal guide to what I have chosen as non-toxic, as clean, as healthier products for me and baby. So they do this for everything like sunscreen, bug spray, diapers, kids' toys, bath toys, eating utensils, all things like that. So I would really, really start there, save the posts that are applicable to you, and then try to get the brands that you can afford or have access to. Mind you, they are based in the US. So a lot of the brands that they recommend, you actually don't get in Canada. So I've had to kind of choose a few that are not as clean or like not the best of the best, but are a bit lower down, but that's fine. The other suggestion I would look at as well, another great resource is called Mama Natural. I have her book and I've done her courses, and I would really suggest looking on her website. She has a ton of information on healthier products, green, non-toxic, making a non-toxic nursery, all that type of thing. A very valuable resource. And so I would go through that as well. I have a registry freebie that I'm working on. It might be out by the time this episode comes out. If you want it, send me a message on Instagram, because I don't know if it'll be out when this comes out. And if it is out, I'll send it to you, because when I was posting about what I was buying, like this person, I got so many questions of like, what crib did you get? What carrier did you get? What car seat did you get? And why? And all of these things. And so I was like, okay, here's my registry. And then I realized the registry link I was sending people wasn't super great because it didn't let people click on any of the things that had been purchased, only the things that had not been purchased. So then I was like, okay, let me make this into a PDF with links, images, cost, and why I chose the item. So that's what I have been working on. It might be done already, and I will send that to you, and I'll do it. And the products in there will be like Canada, definitely available in Canada, and likely also available in the States. So check that out. I would really, recommend that, which would be a great resource too. Okay. A shout out to Bioptimizers. Oh my gosh, my favorite supplement brand. I absolutely love their mushroom milk. It's called Mushroom Breakthrough, but I call it mushroom milk whenever I make it. And essentially, it has got a bunch of mushrooms in it, and it helps your brain work at a new level. Trust me, I'm really watching my caffeine level right now. And so when I drink this, I'm like, whoo, this is better than caffeine. So it's got like cordyceps in it, reishi, lion's mane, tons of mushrooms in it, that medicinal mushrooms that really support your brain and helping it function better. I think this is great for all those parents out there, or all of those people who are just trying to be more productive, like myself. They also have a great magnesium product I take every single night before I go to sleep. 7 different types of magnesium in it, which is significant. Okay. And it is a full spectrum magnesium product, which is very hard to find. So you can use my discount code biohackingbrittany. Will get you the most percentage off, linked in my show notes and on my website, just like all my other discounts and links. Okay, enjoy this episode, and I will catch you soon for another one. Hello, and welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. I am thrilled that you are listening to today's episode. I have Connor Godfrey joining me, and we are going to be talking about spirit restoratives, the zero proof movement that is happening around the world right now, and really what we can do to replace alcohol in our lives for those of us who are drinking or not drinking. So, before we get into his products, we are going to dive into the story behind developing his company, Rasāsvāda. Am I saying that correct, Connor?
Rasāsvāda. Very close.
Rasāsvāda. Okay. And so I'm excited about it. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Brittany. I really appreciate you having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about Rasāsvāda and our spirit restoratives. So it's a pleasure to be speaking with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you start with like taking us back way before any products were developed? Why did you think that this was something you personally had to develop and put out into the world?
That's a great question. My journey with Rasāsvāda began about 8.5 years ago. I went through what I like to call a bit of an inflection period in my life. Some might say it's a bit of a quarter life crisis, but for me, I try to, see the positives in things. But really, my story goes back even further. My cousin, Joshua Kaiser, started a company called Rishi Tea about 25 plus years ago. And when I was growing up, I'd visit him in where he was based, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He'd take me to his warehouse, show me around, talk to me about all the various plants, botanicals, and herbs that he was combining, and sort of why he would take each plant and put them together, and the result that could, potentially give to the human body. So when I was going through this difficult period in my life, I really tried to leverage a lot of that knowledge base to help myself, for lack of a better term. I'm a very holistic person. I don't like taking any pharmaceuticals, especially if I don't have to. And for me, I was dealing with a lot of grief and stress at the time, and I felt that there was a real opportunity to, look for holistic solutions that I might be able to sort of treat myself. And what really came from that were these 3 spirit restoratives that, were originally started by using a lot of my cousin's teas and adding other various tinctures and, ingredients that I thought, could help me with what I was, sort of dealing with at that point in time. And what I found was, whether it was placebo effect or not, it really seemed to benefit me and help me on my journey. And I thought, what more of a rewarding opportunity or career would it be to help others that either might be dealing with, these periods of adversity or inflection, or people that are really just looking to begin and start sort of their wellness journey, or looking to enhance their wellness journey further. So it's been a really rewarding 8 years. and I've gotten to, see a lot of the benefits and results that have come of it. So
Very cool. I love that. I love that. It was like born out of your own healing journey, which is how a lot of people actually develop health products and health services. And I think that's so important. And I'm so curious, you call it a spirit restorative. So what does that mean? I've seen other companies that have created like liqueurs and elixirs that are zero proof and have no alcohol in them. But why do you like call it that and kind of like have a different narrative around it?
yeah, I mean, so quite frankly, it's meant to be a double entendre, right? It's meant to play into the spiritual journey that I went on as well. It's meant to be about restoring one's, you know, personal spirit, as I just sort of mentioned, but also a restorative is, at its root, it's something that benefits the human body, or it's sort of, is health additive, right? So for us, it was really about trying to encapsulate those two things. This is meant as part of our mission statement is we're here to help you on your personal journey, right? So how can we go about doing that? And what our hope is that these spirit restoratives, as we call them, or beverages, are our first sort of vehicle to getting our brand messaging out into the world. And then from there, we can hopefully launch other spirit restorative products that might be in other, sorts of areas.
Oh, very cool. I love that. So it's like more about the mission than it is necessarily just the products. And I think that's really important. When you were developing this first line of three products, how did you even know where to start? Like you had family ties and connections, which obviously is like very helpful. But how did you just start? Like where did you start where you're like, okay, this has got to be the first blend and I want to see these herbs in it? Like, how did you get to that point?
Quite honestly, I leveraged as much knowledge base as I had from, my experience growing up with someone who, is a thought leader around and is an expert on TCM and, other
Nice.
Eastern medicinal modalities. But also I did a lot of reading, to be quite frank. I have a stack of books that I read that were all, really impactful to me and really helped me sort of think about what different plants and herbs that I might be able to get access to. And then also, what would fit some of the needs that I had at that period in time, right? So stress management was a huge one. Obviously, adaptogens have become a huge buzzword. Unfortunately, I think there's also, because of that, maybe a little bit of a stigma associated with them now. But, adaptogens was one of the most influential books in sort of, my healing journey and better understanding what ingredients and so on that might be beneficial to me. The traditional Chinese medicine handbook was another one that's, played an important role. But really it's, desktop due diligence, it's reading, herbalism books, it's trying to, really self-educate and play around as well.
Nice. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Play around with like what blends well, what tastes good, somewhat tastes good if it can, and just experimenting as well, I'm sure, with like your customer feedback now as well of like what people are saying, success stories and things like that. You have in each of the different products, there's such a robust amount and diversity of plant ingredients, and it's actually very impressive. So, how do you go about sourcing them? I know that is something very important to you guys because there's no preservatives in it, which is, or additives, which is amazing. So, how do you put these plant extracts into this drink and then not need additives or preservatives?
That's a great question. And I think it goes back to your last question as well. So while I came up with a lot of the original recipes, the fact of the matter is, one of our differentiators is the fact that my cousin is involved in this business, right? So he's responsible for all of the sourcing of these ingredients, and he's responsible for the formulation of all of our products. So it really provides us with a very unique competitive advantage because he has these, incredible relationships around the globe. We source ingredients from 6 different continents. We have relationships with farmers that are 8th generation farmers, right? So for us, we're really able to get the best of whatever harvest of each particular ingredient, occurred that year. And that's, the benefit of working with someone like Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's such a good point. And I love that you said that. What has been the feedback that you've gotten from customers as you've grown so much and your website's very impressive and your social media presence and just your branding in general, like everything is so polished and well done that I'm sure you get a lot of people interested. And so I'm curious, like, are there any kind of common stories or trends that you hear from people who've tried your products?
I think that's a great question. I would say there are a couple things I'll point out. First and foremost, we launched in June of 2020. So very interested in launching a business, right sort of as COVID was entering New York, where we're headquartered. The other thing that I would point out is that, when we think about our range of products, originally we launched as a non-alcoholic restorative spirit. And when people think of a non-alcoholic spirit, their perception is, well, this is going to taste like the non-alcoholic version of whatever my vice of choice is. And that's not how our products taste at all. Our products are very bitter in nature. They pay homage to traditional Chinese medicine. We stay true to a lot of the tenets in how TCM, is practiced. All of our products are made of 100% plants. There's nothing else in them. But we're taking pounds and pounds of plant matter and we're cooking it down to essentially its liquid essence. So you're not using any of these flavoring additives or uh, sweetening agents or acidifiers to try to mimic the taste profile of alcoholic spirit. What we're really trying to do is provide people with an alternative to maybe their nightly glass of whiskey or their daily martini ritual, right? And offer them an alternative opportunity that they don't have to sacrifice any of the fun while also having all of these incredible health benefits that are associated and found derived from the ingredients inside.
Yeah. I love that. I really respect that so much. Like you believe that your products can just stand on their own. They don't need to be classified as a non-alcoholic gin or non-alcoholic whiskey. It's like, no, this is something completely different. But yes, it can replace the habit of when you would drink that thing, but it's not meant to be this something that's very similar that you can somewhat get the taste of gin from. And I think that's very different from what I see from a lot of other companies that are kind of in the same space.
I appreciate your recognition of that. It's something that we're very proud of. And we're very proud of, our ingredients and the fact that we're not using these harmful preservatives that, have linkage to, various cancers and so on. So it's something that, we're very focused on is delivering something that is, pristinely clean and can actually deliver on a lot of the benefits that, the ingredients offer.
Do you have trouble recalling names, dates, or where you left things? I definitely have experienced this. Wouldn't it be nice to feel clear-minded and energized all of the time? I know you want this, and I definitely want this as well. Bioptimizers has created a one-of-a-kind product called Mushroom Breakthrough that can supercharge your brain power. It's packed with highly concentrated mushroom extracts that science shows enhance memory, focus, processing speed, and more. Just one serving contains 5 potent superfoods like collagen and 1.2 pounds of 4 concentrated mushrooms, including lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, and chaga. This cutting edge blend is a powerful way to rebuild your brain and rewire it for maximum energy, focus, and performance in less than 30 days. After each serving of Mushroom Breakthrough, your ability to memorize and recall information will improve, and you'll get a hefty dose of antioxidants for immune support. On top of these incredible benefits, it's also delicious. It tastes like a rich chocolate elixir. Sip our smooth, delicious drink daily and notice your thinking gets crisp fast. Simply mix it with water or milk and enjoy. Or for a more potent blend, you can mix it with your morning coffee to transform it into a delicious mood-boosting mocha. Don't miss out on the brain-boosting power of this amazing new product. For an exclusive offer for my listeners only, you can go to bioptimizers.com/biohackingbrittany and use code biohackingbrittany at checkout. The great thing about Bioptimizers is that you can try it risk-free and you can use their 365-day money-back guarantee. So head over to bioptimizers.com/biohackingbrittany. Try it now to sharpen your edge and reach your potential. I actually think I'm going to go make a cup right after this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're actually going to do a live taste testing, which is going to be fun. And I want to start with your rose bergamot. So this is actually a video recording for everybody listening. You can find it on YouTube if you want to take a look. So I would love for you to talk to me about this product. When I first saw your products, this is the one that I was drawn to most. I don't know if a lot of females feel like that, but I just feel like, I don't know why. I was like, oh, this one just like sounds so nice. So tell me about this product and yeah, what do you love most about it?
So with rose bergamot, it's very funny that you gravitated to this. I would say this is sort of perceived as our flagship product, but rose bergamot is probably our most polarizing of the range as well. And I don't know if you know this, but rose is a very polarizing flavor profile. So if you're not, if you don't like florality, this will not be the one for you. Now, that being said, these products were not developed for you to fall in love with all three. The hope was on one or two that, you sort of resonated with your palate and you gravitated. So that's why we always try to promote people trying our multi-pack first as a way to get started. But with rose bergamot, there are just a couple ingredients that I really want to call out before we begin. So first and foremost, we have ginseng. So ginseng has sort of long been revered as this fountain of youth adaptogenic ingredient. One thing that I would like to point out to you is that, the thought around ginseng is that it can really help your body sort of deal with a lot of the various stressors that it gets, whether they be environmental, biological, emotional, whatever it may be, right? But the fact of the matter is that the adaptive energy in ginseng is really thought to lie in the root of the plant. And ginseng is thought to have lived for at least 6 years to sort of build up enough adaptive energy for you as a human to really absorb the benefits that come from it. That being said, it's been widely studied in both China and Korea for its ability to, potentially fight cancer and also, for its anti-inflammatory properties. There are a lot of people, myself included, who believe that chronic inflammation is the root cause of, many diseases. So, one way to, continue to provide your body with the tools that it needs to keep itself healthy is to help reduce, inflammation as well. So ginseng would be the first ingredient that I'll reference. That and schizandra the other ingredient, which are the two most prominent in rose bergamot, are darlings of traditional Chinese medicine. When paired together, they're actually thought to help cleanse the liver. Most importantly, they're also great for boosting your immunity. Outside of that, we have many different citrus peels and juices that are great from an antiviral standpoint. So, if you're feeling a bit under the weather, I recommend trying our rose bergamot. And then outside of that, we have rose geranium essential oil and bergamot essential oil that we use. And that's, sort of what really delivers a lot of the fragrance that it
Yeah.
has to it.
Yeah. I was just going to say like, oh, I could smell it so much just sitting here. Like it's so nice. And I was thinking, I was like, what is that smell? And it's geranium for sure. Because I have a couple of other geranium products, like that I know. But that's so interesting. Like this is your flagship product. But I also love one thing that you said earlier was you don't want people to love all of them. You want them to find their flavor and their one that they can go to and then come back to and be like, this is my drink of choice. This is like what aligns with me most. And that makes sense when you look at adaptogens and kind of what your body needs and what you're gravitating towards. And I guess like your preferred flavor profile as well.
That's exactly right. Another thing is that we sort of drink them at different periods throughout the day, right? So for me, I actually typically start our tastings with Ruby Artemisia because we view it as sort of our morning beauty blend. And then I work to Rose Bergamot because for me, I drink Rose Bergamot in the afternoon as a coffee replacement because the ginseng is very energizing and warming and sort of, really sort of gives me that lift that I need to, persevere through the rest of my day without, the negative possible effects that I'm very sensitive to caffeine that, I might get from consuming a tea or a coffee or whatever your, caffeinated beverage of choice is. So for me, it's typically my afternoon pick me up.
Nice. I love that. Well, I started with the afternoon pick me up. It's afternoon where I am. So, well, you're in New York City, so we're both in EST. But yeah, I just tasted this and honestly, it's very easy to drink. Like, and I have added nothing to it. Like, it might be 100% plants, but like, it's very, very smooth.
I appreciate you saying that. We actually like to say I have to give full disclosure. We took this from Campari, but Campari always says that you need to try it 5 times before you fall in love with it.
Okay.
And that's something that, we believe with Rose Bergamot is true as well. So people that are products, because they are tied to Eastern medicine, can be a bit foreign for most people's palates, especially in the United States, where sugar is something that's prominent. So it can be a bit of a unique first impression, but we always recommend people to first try them chilled because that's what the American palate is used to. And also, if they don't like it the first time, to try it a couple more times because there's something about it that will continue to bring you back for more.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Like I said, that's my second time, or no, more than that. Yeah. A few times I've tried it. So I actually have, like, I'm familiar with it. So if we were going to move on from rose bergamot to either your ruby artemisia or black ginger, which one would you recommend I open next?
So my personal favorite is black ginger, but I think ruby is where we should start because ruby is a bit more approachable. So you would say that ruby is probably the most elegant of our range from an ingredient standpoint. While you check that out, pu'er tea is one of our hero ingredients in there. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with pu'er tea. It's a fermented tea in China. It's typically drank after dinner for its digestive properties associated with it. But it's also thought to be really good for the cardiovascular system and for gut health as well. I typically actually start my day with a glass of pu'er tea in the morning. It's thought to help boost your metabolism and sort of get your body moving, which is great. Outside of that, we have Kurakoji green tea, which is another fermented tea. We have red wine grape skins, which were obviously made famous by the wine industry for resveratrol. Resveratrol has long been thought of as this, anti-inflammatory, anti-aging fountain of youth, polyphenol. But the fact of the matter is that's kind of been debunked over the last few years. It is very good for health regeneration, but it's not necessarily that fountain of youth that people originally thought. Outside of that, we have maki berries, which are very high in anthocyanins, which are thought to be some of the most potent antioxidants. We have artichoke, which is a diuretic. It helps, with bile production in the liver, sort of start the digestive process as well. And then we have wormwood, which I always like to mention because it was the, favorite ingredient of post-impressionist painters and writers.
Nice. Very, very interesting. Yeah, a couple things. Does this have caffeine in it because it has the green tea and pu'er tea in it? Yeah.
So if you are adverse to caffeine or you try to stay away from it, this would not be the one for you.
Right. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm fine with some caffeine, especially with green tea. Like there's so many other things in there that kind of help with the caffeine. But I really am so interested that you put wormwood, Artemisia anna in this because when I was traveling to Africa a few years ago, I was taking Artemisia to prevent getting malaria. And I would take it in a tincture straight up. Like I'm sure there was some alcohol in there because it was a tincture. And oh, it was bitter. But I was in Tanzania for 6 weeks, didn't get malaria, and it was great. And similar to you, I didn't want to take the pharmaceutical that they were trying to get me to take. So to see it in a drink is very, very interesting. I've not seen that before.
So Artemisia is a traditional bittering agent in Italian Amari, for example, but it's also, really beneficial for women's health, which is something that, so with Ruby Artemisia, we think about it, it's great for longevity purposes. It's good for your skin health with all the, ingredients that promote healthy cellular regeneration, but it's also good for, female health, women that are dealing with PMS related symptoms or women that are going through menopause. It helps with hormone regulation too. So, and then, you mentioned trying to prevent malaria. Another ingredient that we use throughout all three of our products is cinchona bark. And cinchona bark is what is used to make quinine, which was originally given to British sailors, to help prevent. And, when Britain was colonizing a lot of these remote areas that, did have exposure to malaria, that quinine is one of the things that was given to help prevent that.
Nice. It's definitely sweeter than the rose bergamot. Like it's definitely sweeter and it's definitely thicker. Is that like more viscous, I guess?
Yes.
But it's really nice. And I can see like having this in the morning. And I should actually mention in the welcome kit, the diversity or like whatever your kit that you send out, you actually provide a mocktail or recipe book that has so many recipes in it. So you can make all sorts of things with these. So you can take it and use it in the morning for your caffeine boost, but you don't have to drink it straight. Like you can add all sorts of things to like make something really cool and make it more of a nice drink to sip on.
I appreciate you mentioning that. So that book is a very special book that we created. We actually only send that to VIP individuals like yourself. But
Okay.
what I will tell you is all of that information can also be found on our website. And we have over 35 different recipes on our website that can be made with or without alcohol so that you can actually choose what type of journey you would like to go on. And for example, if your partner of yours maybe doesn't drink alcohol or does and you don't, then you can at least share in the same experience as them, no matter what ABV preference you have. Those recipes were really developed so that you could incorporate them into all the drinking rituals you practice throughout your day.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I noticed on your website you have like the mixology section. And I think it's so important because people like they might like the taste, they might like the idea, but if we can integrate it in like a fancy way or a cute drink or like whatever is people's like profile and how they like to drink in social settings as well, you're going to make it way easier for them to like bring the product into their lives and their space.
That's the goal, right? I mean, I think for all of us, it's we all deal with, periods of adversity. We all deal with days when maybe we don't want to go to the gym, right? So creating something that can, help you feel your best and sort of get you over that hump is something that, we feel is important. And all of the recipes, we have recipes to consume after your moment in the gym or recipes to consume, when you're choosing to wind down during the evening or, as your date night cheat code. I recommend trying our Heels to Jesus.
Nice. That's really cool. Okay. So the last one that we have is your black ginger. And what are the hero ingredients for this one for you?
So its namesake, black ginger. We are the only product in the US that incorporates black ginger into it. Black ginger is also known as the Eastern Viagra because it helps promote blood flow to your muscles. But the thing that's really cool about it is it's more closely related to red turmeric than it is to the ginger you get at the grocery store. So it's packed with anti-inflammatory properties. And for that reason, Thai kickboxers will take it, when they're training or before they fight for both the enhancing and anti-inflammatory recovery properties that it offers. Outside of that, we have burdock root. So burdock root is in Korean culture sort of viewed as like a panacea of all. So a lot of stories that I've been told have been around your Korean grandmothers, if you're feeling under the weather, making you a burdock root stew or making you a burdock root tea to sort of help you deal, and recharge your body and combat whatever it is you're fighting. But the one thing that I really like about it and that I find to be very interesting is it's actually also a natural blood detoxifier and liver cleanser. So it helps your liver operate more efficiently. And I have not had a hangover. Now, full disclosure, I stopped drinking about 3 months ago. But prior to that, I had not had a hangover in 4 years when I drank black ginger at the end of my, evening. And I think that's largely due to the detoxifying properties that are found in black ginger combined with the, blood circulation and the, anti-inflammatory properties as well. But we also have, ingredients like dandelion root, which is, great for detoxifying the body. We have ingredients like reishi mushroom, meishima boku mushroom, cardamom, chicory. So from a health and wellness standpoint, I think this is probably our most, beneficial. One thing I forgot to mention is Korea put a 500% tariff on black ginger in order to try to protect their ginseng market.
Wow.
So I think that says enough about the types of how afraid the ginseng market is about what black ginger could potentially offer to the human body.
Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, I did not know that. And yeah, I've actually never seen black ginger before. Like now that you've explained it and talked about it, like I haven't heard of it. I haven't seen it on anything, haven't seen it on any supplements, like nothing like that. So it's very interesting to try it. And it's got such a different flavor profile than the rest of them, like completely different.
How would you describe it if you don't mind me putting you on the spot?
Yeah. I would say it's more, well, for me, it's more fragrant than the ruby Artemisia was. Oh, wait, no. Yes. Yes, it's more fragrant than that. And I almost just want to like taste all of them. Mm, it's lighter and almost more earthy, I think. Um, mm,
So we definitely have people tell us at times that it can taste a bit like the forest floor.
yeah.
And we attribute a lot of that to the chicory and cardamom and reishi mushroom and meishima boku mushroom. But we feel that if you're a coffee drinker, this one is typically the one that gravitate to the most.
Yes. Yes. It almost feels the most medicinal out of the three of them for whatever reason. And it also feels, which is such a silly thing to say, but it also feels like the most masculine out of the three of them. I don't know why. Like it just feels like, I feel like if I was going to do this with my husband, I feel like he would like the black ginger the best. Does that make sense? I don't know why, but that's like what's coming to me.
Totally. So it's funny you say that because there are a lot of people that, originally black ginger is not for them when they try the full range. And then they come back around and it winds up becoming their favorite because it's actually probably the most complex from the depth of flavor profile and all the sort of layers that it really has to it. The reason I love it is every time I take a sip, I feel like I pick up a different ingredient that's found in there.
Yeah.
So but I am someone that, chooses to rank my children. And for me, I would go black ginger, rose bergamot, and then ruby artemisia,
Oh, that's so
even though I
fun.
probably most.
Yeah. I would probably go ruby, and then rose, and then black ginger. But they're all phenomenal. They're all really good. So if people want to try your products, I see we're running out of time. If people want to try your products and order them, how can they connect with you and where can they do that? Because they're so good.
So you can order our products on our website, rasaspirit.com, or via, social media channels, obviously, at Rasaspirit. And then outside of that, our zero proof bottle shop partners. There are a number of high-end hotel establishments that carry our products, especially in the New York area.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active. My handle is @biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.